Welcome to Co-Founder Therapy, hosted by Jen.
Hi, and Mika.
Hi, we're friends, co-founders, and the creators behind Salud Asana.
This podcast explores the real conversations behind building something meaningful together.
Each episode is meant to be more than something you listen to.
It's a resource to help spark honest, necessary conversations with your own co-founder. Why is money so hard to talk about, even with the person you're building a business with? In this episode, we finally sit down for a conversation we've never really had before. Money. From personal finances to business investments, we unpack the discomfort, the assumptions, and the emotional weight tied to it. We talk about what it means to bootstrap a business, the reality of limited time, energy, and resources, and how money quietly becomes the biggest constraint. More than that, we get into the deeper layers: fear, privilege, insecurity, and what each of us feels we're risking. This isn't a polished financial conversation. It's an honest one about learning how to talk about money, how to make a plan, and set clear action steps so we can move forward while avoiding the resentment that can come from feeling things aren't equal. We hope you enjoy this episode.
And today's podcast is figuring out how much we've invested. Time, money, energy.
Money talk.
Money talks. Money talks. That's a song, right?
Yeah.
Do it again.
Yeah. It's the new theme. New theme song.
Welcome to Co-Founder Therapy.
Amazing. Amazing. You can copyright that. So we can get royalties every time somebody uses it.
Nice.
Yeah. Always thinking. Very entrepreneurial, right?
Business.
Revenue stream. It's another revenue stream.
Look at us. Look at us.
Why aren't we so financially stable yet? It's a question I ask myself every morning and every night.
I know.
And in the middle of the night when I wake up.
Yeah, I also have those thoughts too.
It's funny.
Well, speaking of uncomfortable, may this conversation we're about to have
Be uncomfortable.
comfortably uncomfortable? I would call it comfortably uncomfortable because we've always had.
We've actually, I think for our listeners, like we haven't really had a money talk, have
No.
we?
I don't
Yeah,
think so.
which is kind of surprising since we've been really open and transparent and honest about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And even for us, when we're open and we're Asian, so we're used to talking about money and we're not that uncomfortable, but like, I mean, that's the stereotype, or that's the trope, right? With Asians, is like your aunt will be like, "So, how much money are you making, Mika?"
Yeah.
And you're just like,
potential or like right now?
Yeah. My potential is huge. Having said that, my family is actually kind of discreet in that way. I actually don't think my extended family has ever asked me how much money I make.
That's nice.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for you. But if they did, I don't think I'd be uncomfortable. But it's kind of weird in the sense that I know they're not uncomfortable to ask me. They just haven't.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I think it's because I've grown up around people asking. It's scary to say not where I want to be making.
Of course, yeah.
But each time I have to remind myself, like, I'm still young in this game. I can't just make $1 million off of that. There has to be a progression to get to a point where I can realistically handle, understand, and keep that money flowing. I don't know. I'm getting used to being able to say not where I want to be, but it's getting there.
But when people ask you, do you give them a number, or do you say that?
I don't think I give a specific number.
Yeah, because you're uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so weird because it's such a like the idea of, having an open, honest conversation about how much money you make is just such a normal, accepted thing in Asian families. But that's why I'm honestly surprised right now that I don't think I've been asked very recently.
Mm.
And I don't remember the last time I was asked.
Mm.
But maybe because like I've been an entrepreneur for almost 10 years. And all of my family are entrepreneurs. And so in that sense, like what you get paid is actually irrelevant. It's how much your company makes.
Mm.
It's how much money your business makes. And then you pay yourself what you pay yourself. Like that's
I see.
it's not the focus.
Yeah, I understand what you
So
mean.
maybe that's why I haven't been asked in a long time, because I haven't.
You come from a family of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I haven't really been employed by a corporate company in a long time.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
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 Very interesting. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
The different perspectives of how we just like feel about money.
Yeah.
Definitely play into the role of how we discuss and handle our money.
How do you feel about money?
I'm getting better, but as all co-founder listeners have now heard, I've cried a lot over just budgeting and seeing how much I make, and then how much I have to pay for, and then keep up. Like I was really happy to see that I have been making more money year by year, like increasing the yearly revenue. But my living expenses have also increased as well. So it just feels like I'm not hitting the mark, but I'm still progressing.
Yeah.
So that was hard.
Yeah.
I feel okay. Whereas before I really felt down and out and lost.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be okay. I would like to be at a point where I'm like, oh, I'm fine. I'm so good.
I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Especially in this economy and like the world that we're living in right now. Like right now with the war in Iran, like the cost of my to fill up my car just almost doubled.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. Like I feel like it used to be more stable, or even like with COVID and inflation and like, yeah. So that's why when you say like, yeah, your revenue has gone up year over year, but so have your expenses.
Mm-hmm.
And has your revenue kept up with the cost of expenses? And Vancouver is, famously one of the most expensive cities to live in. So it's definitely, there's definitely pressure there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm glad that you feel okay. I think a lot of people have a lot of anxiety, though.
That being said, though, I did have a mental breakdown yesterday, but I feel okay now because I was talking to you.
Just a minor meltdown.
I think that's just, I was overdue. I need to schedule more in to keep a healthy balance.
Yeah, I'm probably due for one too.
Wonderful,
yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. But in terms of starting a business in general, the capital costs have been pretty low.
Yes.
I mean, we mitigated our risks.
Yeah.
Basically by booking
mm-hmm.
a venue
mm-hmm.
that has a very, very like flexible cancellation policy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's our first go around. So.
Yeah. But in terms of energy and time, I think that fluctuated depending on the month.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the different things that were taking us and pulling us away from being able to make this full time. I think when we first started, we both were able to kind of put that full time focus.
I mean, when we first started, I wasn't working.
Yeah.
I was just, I had just stopped to take a breath after 8 years of running my last business. So I had all the time in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And in hindsight, I'm like, oh, I should have done a lot more with that time.
You can't judge yourself.
I know.
You needed that break. You needed that breath. You
I
still
know.
need time to breathe,
I know, I
actually.
know, I know, but it's still hard not to be like, oh,
Could have done more. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Well, I had more resources in terms of time. I don't know. I was just like on a different. I was just operating at a different pace, I think, and so I had grand plans to get everything up and running at a like faster, and to invest and outsource things faster so that we could, scale and grow faster.
mm-hmm.
And then I think, yeah, like you said, kind of very quickly realized that we didn't have the financial resources to invest in that speed.
Yeah.
And so we had to pull back and kind of do everything ourselves.
Yeah.
That is the crux. When people say like time is money, that's what it is, right? If you have money, you can buy time.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy resources. You can
Mm-hmm.
you can hire people
Mm-hmm.
to take things off your plate so that you can redivert your focus and your energy towards something else.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's just the reality of bootstrapping a business.
Yeah.
It's a little slower to get going.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it took us a while to accept.
Yeah. Yeah.
To accept that.
Yeah. Very interesting to look at our past year in hindsight and just the pace and the tempo and how much energy and then time and then money. All of those things really were a whirlwind of lessons. It's very cool to reflect.
I have a theory that like most of our roadblocks come down to time, energy, or money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in the beginning it was, what was it? It didn't feel like we had any roadblocks in the beginning. We had time, we had energy. We didn't have as much money, but we did. We did. We'd had some.
Yeah. We didn't spend anything yet, so we had more than we did do now. You know?
Yeah. And then as time goes,
then energy goes.
Energy is expended, money is expended.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, there's a startup kind of philosophy of fail forward, fail fast, fail fast, fail fast, learn fast, start again with those lessons in tow. And yeah, that's why I think I'm obsessed with speed and time sometimes.
Makes sense.
Not obsessed. I think that's a little bit over dramatic. But like, I'm very conscientious of time and optimizing my time and being efficient and making more time, wishing for more time.
And that's why I'm obsessed with energy.
Yeah.
Maybe not obsessed, but I focus on energy more.
Yeah. And I think because of you, I'm more aware of my energy now, and I'm not just literally kind of dwelling on time and lost time, or time not, quote unquote, well spent. What do you think is lacking right now?
I was about to ask that kind of question. Good question. I was just thinking about like, what is the roadblock now? I would say money.
Yeah, I think it is too. We have time. We don't have as much time as we would like.
Yeah.
But, after last week's podcast, when we realigned our expectations in terms of how much time we do have, like we talked about how we expect to put in the same amount of time as somebody that's working a full-time job, but in reality, we have full-time jobs, and this is our side hustle, so it's really a part-time situation.
Yeah.
And once we realigned on that, I think we gave each other and ourselves like more compassion and more grace. Like I still want to do more. I always still have a laundry list of to-dos that I want to get through that we don't always get through, but I guess we're more understanding of it.
I think we spend less energy disappointed in the lack of time.
Yeah, we have more energy.
Yeah.
something about alignment creates energy
Yeah.
and alignment in terms of expectations of
Yeah.
ourselves and each other.
Yeah.
And we talked about balance as well in one of our previous episodes, and now that we feel more balanced in terms of our roles in each other's lives as friends versus co-founders, like we expend a lot less energy being stressed out about that. So that's cool.
It is cool. You feel it, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job, you. Good job, us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy
So
shit.
money is basically
So money's the thing right
Yeah.
now. Yeah. Yeah, capital, investment.
Well, going on to the next kind of point, does one of us have more to lose when it comes to money? Because time and energy, we both been able to balance that quite nicely. So how, or what is on the table when it comes to money? What is a risk? What is something that, will maybe cause an absolute no?
I think in terms of financial investment, I think currently it feels pretty even. We should probably look at the books and update them, and that's like not probably. We definitely have to do that. Not doing that in the past has definitely come back to bite me in the ass. But because it's hasn't been exorbitant amounts, we haven't been stressed out about it.
Yeah.
But we are calling it out right now as like our biggest roadblock.
Yes.
At the moment.
Yeah.
So
the lesson that you've taught me, it's better just to know. It's good to know.
Oh my God, we have to know. Yes. Yeah. Nobody wants to, you should not be sort of in a black box.
Yeah. And thank you so much for being patient with me as I try to allow myself to know. It was a hard road to just know what is happening with my money. Where am I spending? How much am I getting in? In the same way that it really sucks when your heart and passions don't reflect in the amount of revenue that you make, or how much you can take home after you pay everything else out. So thank you for being with me through that journey, because it's still tough.
That's awesome. I'm glad. Yeah, it is tough, and a lot of people avoid it, and a lot of women avoid it.
Me, I avoided it so long.
Yeah, and I used to be in a partnership where I think when you share expenses with someone, whether that be in a personal relationship or a business, transparency is the number one thing. Communication, being transparent. Yeah.
Being transparent in the way that you're also telling them what you're struggling with too. Like, it's one thing to say, I would like to not shop. I'm going to try and hold myself accountable to not shop. But then to tell the person that is also handling the money, I seem to shop when I have a really bad day.
Yeah. Retail therapy.
Yeah. So being open about that. So then this person is like, I thought you weren't shopping. And then this charge out of nowhere is coming through.
Yeah.
And they're not understanding that, oh, you had a bad day. And so maybe instead of shopping, you would have preferred to have a sit-down conversation, to spend time, right? Just having that small little, I'm struggling with this.
Yeah.
Or I recognize that this is a pattern of mine, and I would like to break it, but I know it's a process, and I just want to let you know that this might come up again. And I just need patience through breaking this pattern that I don't really want to keep. Yeah. It's an uncomfortable conversation to let someone know of your shortcomings. Also talking about money. It's entanglement and all the things that are uncomfortable inside you.
Yeah, exactly. It's a coping mechanism that's also wrapped up with your financial health.
Yeah.
That's also wrapped up in, a trigger or an emotional an insecurity maybe, and then you have somebody else that's involved in all of that, and
it's just icky, and not many people have the energy and the safety of another person saying, I'm here with you. I've been through that. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, money insecurity is a really, like financial insecurity is a really interesting topic because I think most people have it.
Mm-hmm.
Most people feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm being honest, I've been, I don't know if you call it lucky or privileged enough to not really have to grapple with it until recently.
Mm.
And it's not because I grew up with super wealthy. I'm very, like, my background is very working class. My parents were entrepreneurs, but like they started and owned and operated a restaurant. And anybody that has ever, worked in the restaurant business knows that it's a lot of hard manual labor.
Mm-hmm.
And increasingly just a very unsustainable revenue model, business model these days. Like if we're a single location um, restaurant business. But like the way I grew up was comfortable. Like there was always food on the table, and there was
Mm-hmm.
always like clothes on our backs and
Mm-hmm.
roofs over our heads. And my dad's kind of, or both my parents, but I guess I only really had like money talks with my dad, and even then. But he was definitely out of my parents. He was in charge of the finances, and I think the thing that I took away from him when I was a kid was if you're willing to work, there'll always be money.
Mm-hmm.
So I never was ever really stressed out because I knew I was a hard worker.
Mm-hmm.
So I just figured like if I'm willing to work, I'll always make money.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was never insecure about not having enough or not, or that it would like go away,
Mm-hmm.
like that that an income stream would ever go away.
Mm-hmm.
But this past year was the first year that I basically have been transitioning from a dual income household into
Mm-hmm.
a single income household.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, so it's been a new stage of learning and growth
Mm-hmm.
emotionally and just like financially.
Yeah,
It's been interesting.
it is. Yeah. You
Yeah.
should be so proud of yourself through all of this.
I don't know if it's something to be proud of, but I'm I think it makes sense. It makes sense. What am I trying to say? I think a part of me is like, oh my god. a in a way it's like being really grateful that I haven't felt that anxiety, like haven't had to deal with that stress and anxiety for pretty much my entire adult life up until now. But also B, it's like, oh, should I have known all this? Should I have already kind of like been comfortable or familiar with this feeling earlier? I don't know. It's odd.
Mm.
I have an odd, yeah, it's an odd feeling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Of course, it'd be an odd feeling. You're navigating so many new things. And to start another business on a single income now.
Yeah.
In a sense, even through the transition, because you chose, to do a different path, you had to let go of other things. In a sense, you had to lose other things. So now, at this moment when you're starting something new, there is a lot more to lose.
Well, and then the flip side is I have nothing to lose because, in a sense, like I've like not to be overly dramatic, but I already like I lost everything.
Mm.
So yeah,
You lost the life that you once lived. Yeah, that's true. But what you're gaining is going to be more than that.
Yeah, and I know that. It's just it's always the struggle of starting over.
Yeah, of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
But it's it's freeing in a way,
Right.
right? Like there's a freedom to not having anything to lose too.
Yeah.
And it makes you, I don't want to say it like it makes you more like it makes you less risk adverse in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess like different people could come out of this and it could come out of like my experience differently in the sense that you could either become like really risk adverse
Right.
and just like really protective, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really defensive, really protective. But the flip side is also if you've got nothing left to lose, you can just go for it.
Right. Yeah. You are free to choose what your next step is.
Yeah.
No, I don't want you to ever feel like you have to be forced to take risks or to not take risks. I always want you to feel like, especially in the business and friendship, you have the choice to do whatever you like. And yeah, we built a business. We built an incredible friendship. But if the calling is somewhere else, I would want you to take it too. Just know that. You are not locked in to anything. I'm just so happy to build something while we can. So while I can, I give 110%, 20, 100, 2,000, whatever.
Only 10%.
Okay, calm down. I was trying to get a higher number, but I was already saying 100. 20 million percent in the time that I have. That's it. And then if another path takes either one of us, another path. But I would be so proud of how much that I'm putting in. I didn't want to hold back.
Yeah. Why that tangent? I'm always curious. Why, like, what is it about this conversation that makes you go in?
Because when we're talking about what someone can lose, I've seen you through that. And one of the things I recognize is that the safety really took more than anticipated. A home. It took a lot more. And the safety in our friendship is kind of like a home. And out of anything, I don't want you to lose that. So when I say you are free to do anything you want, is because you can change your plan, you can do another business, or if we have to do another branding business, or we have to make something else, and then you get called somewhere else, and you're like, oh, this is exactly what I want to do. I want to teach in Spain or whatever. I'm just giving examples. I don't want you to think that you're going to lose a home if you say you want to do that adventure. I don't want you to think that you're going to lose safety just because you choose something else. So when I say this stuff, it's more of the iteration of this is what I see as your friend on the things that are risky.
Yeah, I think we've run into we've run into this conundrum in the past, where like we're sitting here talking as co-founders, and then you suddenly switch invisible hats, and I didn't realize you were switching hats. And so
let me speak about my side, and then you might make it might make it a little bit easier.
Okay.
I don't want you to think that this is like me saying no commitment or whatever. It's just that I also have things to lose. But what I value more than business is our friendship. And so for me to mourn a business and then have a friendship end because of a business is so scary to me. And so I'm laying down this like safety net of no matter what happens, no matter what pathway or wherever this, like if we have to end it, if, I don't want you to think you're actually going to lose me as a friend. And I don't want you to feel like that's it. That's the end of us.
Right.
So that's why I say that. But in terms of money, like it's also scary for me because I've been living on a single income since I moved to Vancouver. I've had a lot of things that I had to choose to lose. And I am so grateful to have the safety of my parents that are allowing me to explore and try new things and build new things. But I've also had this feeling that I have to repay them, or at least be okay where they don't have to worry about me anymore and I don't have to rely on them. And so maybe it's a pride thing, but I do feel like there's so much on the line. So when I was talking about, like yesterday when we had our conversation in September, I felt the fear of being known. And now you're starting to feel a little bit because of what we're planning and events, like we're making it very legit. But when you said the word legit in my head, I was like, I thought we were legit by September.
We were.
Yeah.
But it's a leveling up.
Yeah. And so for me, I was kind of feeling like, how much time have I been putting in and energy, and how much money and time and energy have you been putting in? And how are we going to make this more legit?
Right.
You know, where we're able to receive all the things that we have put in equally and not equally, and, you know, the fluctuation between all of them, but still make this out unscathed.
We won't make it out unscathed.
Exactly. And because I can already see that, you know, I already see, regardless, whatever endings, possibilities that will happen, the only thing I need to make sure survives is our friendship. That is why I always bring up this conversation. And I know it's uncomfortable for you because it's like, oh my gosh, Mika, are you telling me that you want to quit? No, that's not what it is at all.
Right.
It's just so then we keep having this conversation.
Right.
So when shit hits the fan and we have to put it down.
Yeah.
We both know, okay, cool, we'll be friends.
Yeah.
We'll build something else later. We just can't do this one.
Yeah, that's definitely not something that like one of us has to lose over the other. Like we both lose.
Yeah.
If it comes down to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a weird, awkward conversation, but I bring it up because I want to keep parsing it through so we both understand what we're meaning.
Right. Yeah, I get that. Like I was saying, I think it's just in a moment when I think you're still wearing your co-founder hat, it feels like a retreat. A retreat. It feels like you're stepping away, or you're like giving me an out. And I know that you are
kind of,
like
yes,
but as a friend, not as a co-founder.
Yeah.
So that's why that's really uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, wait, what?
Friend, co-founder, friend?
Yeah.
Which one are you talking about?
We've literally talked about wearing physical hats.
Yeah, because
so that we know, because we switch.
Yeah.
When we're talking to each other, we sometimes.
To be fair though, I have never had a friend who was a co-founder. So this is my first experience of being a friend co-founder, to the point where I don't even know when I'm being co-founder or friend.
Exactly.
So it's hard for me to say, like, in a sense, as a co-founder, I understand the different risks that we are going to be facing, and especially since money, time, and energy are the things that will constantly hit, you know? So if we constantly hit them and there comes a point where we both realize, shoot, we can't keep doing this, I want us to already have the conversation of, worst comes to worst, we're still friends. We're still gonna
but
find
I think
a way.
we're still going to have to, if it came to that, we would still have another conversation. It wouldn't be like, oh, back in April of 2026, we already had this conversation that it was going to be all fine. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah. The more times we have the conversation, the stronger we know what each other is thinking and feeling about a situation before it comes up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always afraid. I've told you this before. Like, I'm always afraid of everything.
Yeah.
Grew up afraid. So this is the first time, like, I can be afraid and be brave at the same time. Yeah, all of these things are possible. I still want to do it.
Yeah, I do too. Like, I think at the moment, like the conversation is, at the moment, it feels like the risk that we're taking is shared relatively evenly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we know that in terms of our current personal financial situations, it fluctuates.
Yeah.
And at some point, in the very near future, our individual investment, like financial investments in the company, in the business, could be unequal. And what would that look like? And how will that feel? And are we willing to even get it? Like, are we even willing for it to be that way? Or is it, if we can't both contribute 50-50, then we don't invest in that thing?
Yeah.
Like, what level of inequality are we comfortable with? Like, when it comes to time and energy, I mean, energy is hard to measure.
Yeah.
Time we could measure, but it doesn't feel unequal at the moment. We spend a lot of time working together, or we've been pretty good at assigning things to each other.
Our accountability has gotten much better.
Yeah, to just talking about it, right?
Crazy. Anyways, sorry, continue.
Yeah. Still not perfect.
We're getting there. There's
there.
progression, so there's that.
So, yeah, money and time are measurable. Money is very measurable.
Yeah. Well, you brought up a good scenario. I just don't know how to answer it just yet because it's depends. There's a lot of ifs and whens and whats, but your scenario of, like, what are we comfortable with?
What are we comfortable with?
Yeah, to continue forward. I don't want it to be 90-20. I don't want it to be 80. Sorry, I don't want it to be 90-10. Oh, God, what's wrong with me? I don't want it to be 90-10.
I want it to be 90-20 because somehow
we have
like
more.
An extra 10. That's awesome. Great.
I don't really want it to be 80-20 either. 70-30 is very uncomfortable for me.
Okay.
60-40, I think, is my absolute.
That's really good to know, honestly.
Yeah.
It's good to, like...
Because in my head, 60-40 will always shift. It will always shift somehow. Whereas 70-30, that seems quite a difference.
Yeah.
You know?
I would say that I'm also comfortable. I mean, I'm very comfortable at 60-40.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. Like, that for me, that's not even...
What is your absolute no?
90-10 is an absolute no. 80-20... Probably an 80-20 would be an absolute
really?
no.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, okay.
70-30 would start to feel a little uncomfortable, I think.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't want it to get there. That's why I'm like 60-40 is like max. If it gets even one more, we got to rethink something.
But I think what it is like, at the end of the day, it's honestly about knowing, because it can be 70-30 and 80-20, but you have to know.
Yeah.
It can't be this like gut feeling.
Yeah.
Because that's when you don't have anything to come to the table and have a conversation about.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's just, it's there. It's in a spreadsheet. We can see it.
Okay, so for our next podcast, we should come back and
and report
say,
back. We're
yeah,
holding ourselves accountable to like getting our numbers,
yeah.
our finances
You don't have to say the
in
exact
check.
numbers, but we can say
No.
whether it's like a 60-40 or 90-10.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like with me encouraging you to keep up with doing
Yeah.
your budget, right?
Yeah.
Like you can gut feel know you're overspending,
Mm-hmm.
but are you overspending by $100 or are you overspending by $1,000?
Yeah.
It's just you just have to know first. Because otherwise, like if you're overspending by $10 and you're in a world you're just like a ball of anxiety, that's not necessary.
Yeah. You're not going to improve from that. You're not going to progress.
Yeah.
You won't get to a day where you're happy about it either until you know where you're at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I know. So I think we're both like pretty diligent with our personal finances, and now we just need to get on top of our business ones.
Yep. Okay. Well, we have an action item for next week. But we can talk about whether or not those numbers mean we have to pivot.
Oh my God.
Or we're going well. Or we just need to shift some stuff. That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
Considering we're talking about pivot, who are you in Friends?
Why do you ask? I think I identify with Monica the most.
Really?
Oh, no one would be surprised, but none of my friends have ever been surprised about that. Are you surprised? But you haven't
I also
watched
don't
that
really watch Friends. Yeah, that's
you
on
haven't
me.
watched that many.
That's fair. I guess. Yeah. Why would you say you identify most with Monica?
Because she's high-strung, high anxiety, is a control freak, and I've mellowed out a lot, but like she just is me. I just am her.
Okay.
No one has ever contested that I'm not. No one. I promise. I promise. I definitely have like, I mean, they're like caricatures, right? So like, it's not that bad, but like, yeah, just like really competitive, really want to be in control and a perfectionist, right? I'm less of a perfectionist now. Yeah.
I don't really know the characters that well. I've said before that I think I'm closer to Phoebe. I don't speak French though. Phoebe speaks French.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, she does.
No, she doesn't.
She does.
No,
she
she
speaks
does
French.
not.
I'm not even kidding. She speaks French. She doesn't do it a lot in the episodes, but she speaks French.
Okay, but the character that you identify with, I feel like you're more like Harry Potter. Like Harry Potter is more your, not literal, like the literal character Harry Potter, but like in terms of popular culture, you probably have like a person in Harry Potter that you identify with more.
Luna Lovegood, which is the Phoebe version.
There you go.
I don't think I'm Hermione. I think I'm Ron.
You're Ron Weasley.
Yeah, which is why I was also like, if we're just talking about the girls, I think I'm Phoebe, but overall, I think I'm Joey Tribbiani. Tribbiani.
Italian. Yeah, that was insightful.
Yeah, it was really nice to hear about everything and like just how we understand each other, and yeah, every conversation we have
Definitely feels like I think how I feel now, as opposed to before we started, was I think when we started, I was like, you don't know what you don't know. I was like, wonder how this will go.
Mm-hmm.
And now I feel relieved, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And like I feel like, oh, I learned something new about you. And
oh my gosh, what was it?
well, just like in general, in general.
It's because I identify as Joey Tribbiani. I knew it. It changed your perspective.
That's not a red flag for me, only because you didn't really watch Friends. So.
Yeah. I've seen clips, but I'm glad that you feel relieved. I feel relieved too, because I also was like, I don't know how I'm going to talk about money. But it was really nice. Your questions were really good about like how I felt about it and just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and we're definitely gonna have to talk about this again.
Mm-hmm.
I think like right now.
Follow up.
Yeah, right now it's not super. It's not a very touchy subject at the
Yeah, that was
moment.
basically like our first accountability, and now we're gonna have to do accountability.
We're probably going
follow-up.
to have to do a follow-up.
Money follow-up. Yeah, which fair.
I mean, these are conversations that have to be had regularly.
I'm excited.
Of course you are. Okay. Well, that was good. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, guys.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Thank you for joining this session of Co-Founder Therapy. If something resonated, bring it into your next conversation, because growth happens when we speak about what matters.
And if you haven't already, be sure to follow and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And you can find more of our thoughts and behind the scenes on Instagram and Substack. Links are in our episode notes.
Until next time, keep building, keep listening, and keep having the conversations that move you forward.